Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the VAR You Serious podcast episode. I don't even know because we've been gone for a bit. We're like the Bundesliga and some of the other leagues. We took a winter break. Dad, how you feeling?
I'm better than I was a month ago. I think we ended up canceling one podcast because I had lost my voice a bit again. And then we got all tied up in the holiday season and being festive. And then, of course, my voice is still not 100% because I just taught 2 full days for the first time in 3 weeks. So my voice is not happy with me, but super excited to be back. I actually, the last couple nights had dreams about it. I'm like, because it's been a while. So I'm pumped. Let's get at it.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It was a good holiday season. Good to see you more in person and hang out with the family and enjoy everything. So we hope you guys had a great holiday season as well. But it's the new year now, 2026. We're on to bigger and better things, as people love to say. And we kind of wanted to recap today some of the Premier League seasons so far. We're halfway through. Been quite a crazy season. A lot of different things happening, Dad. And I think there's some storylines that we really need to look into here in terms of clubs shocking us, players shocking us. But Dad, what have you kind of noticed this season? What's been different for you?
Well, I'll tell you about the last 3 weeks. I've watched so much soccer, it's not even funny. And I got to be honest, in my head, I'm calling it the big blur because
Yeah.
so many games, so many different storylines. And honestly, it's a little hard to keep track of all of it. I mean, I say that in a good way. Obviously, I'm most focused on Arsenal and City and Liverpool and Villa and all this stuff, but just so much soccer. I'm a little
Just
worn
back
out.
to back all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm a little worn out, but of course, big game tomorrow, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Excuse me, Arsenal versus Liverpool. So I don't care how tired I am as a fan. I got to get ready to watch that big game tomorrow.
Gotta support. Absolutely, Dad. And I think, that's definitely one of the bigger shocks of the season, Liverpool not being what everyone thought they were going to be, especially with the signings they made. Only, I think, in 4th or 5th right now in the table. And, I've definitely clawed back. But I
Yeah.
believe, they're 8 points behind Villa in 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. So, the title race is a lot different than we maybe thought it was going to be, with Villa involved, with City, of course, still there, but Arsenal really holding strong right now, can make it an 8-point gap tomorrow. But Dad, I think this season right now has almost been more about the mid-table, because I think from 4th to 10th, it's about a 4-point gap right now,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is like the championship. I mean, it's crazy to see, don't you think?
It's awesome. I mean, it is crazy. I did not see it coming to that extent. I mean, obviously, the teams in the relegation zone are in big, big, big trouble. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, for most of the rest of the table, it's exciting. And I'll tell you what, a lot of those teams in that part of the table, they're giving the top clubs good battles, right?
Yeah.
Couple of big draws today. Both City and Villa, I think, drew today.
Yep.
And I don't think there's anything about luck involved in there, or, oh, well, City has some key injuries. It's unlucky. That may be part of it, but I think we would be remiss in not giving those mid-table teams a hell of a lot of credit for what they're doing this season.
I mean, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Sunderland have the best home record besides Arsenal, which is something crazy to say. They've played teams like City and Liverpool and Arsenal at home already. I'm pretty sure they haven't lost any of them at home, which
It's
is
impressive.
extremely impressive for a newly promoted team. But they're not the only one, Dad. And I know there's some teams that have kind of flip-flopped around. And one I wanted to bring up, Dad, that I think has been really, really shocking is Tottenham Hotspur. We love to make fun of them, because they're our rivals and we like to see them do poorly. But I don't think anyone was anticipating them being this poor and honestly not enjoyable to watch. Like, they are one of the most boring teams, I think, in the league right now. I'd prefer watching some of the teams below them, like Leeds and Nottingham Forest, over them
Yeah.
with their
Yeah.
style of play. I think it goes to show maybe Thomas Frank hasn't worked out exactly how they wanted, Dad. I don't know if you have an opinion on it, but I just think something's not clicking there, and there's not that offensive drive and exciting football that you'd maybe expect from them.
Well, I mean, I think they were this way last season. I would not say they were particularly exciting or particularly good in the Premier League last year. So for me, one season you can write off. It appears to be a similar season in the making now.
Mhm.
And if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd be concerned, right? I know they won some hardware and they hold it over our head and whatever, but the reality is we're talking Premier League and yeah, poor results and the boring style of soccer. And I mean, I usually would watch Tottenham just because of who they were in the past, even when they weren't playing Arsenal. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, no thanks. I'm good. I'm not entertained. And that is a bad sign. I mean, obviously, no son. I know he's older, but he still brought excitement. But I guess you saw that disappearing last year. Well, it's really gone this year. So they're in some trouble, my man. This is
Yeah.
not good.
No, and I agree with you. I think their defense looks a little bit better, kind of to your point, Dad. But I guess going back to what you were saying, they used to be a team you want to put on the TV, but now it's almost you're putting them on the TV because you're more interested in seeing what the other team's gonna do to them than what they're doing, almost. They're just
Act.
not creating, and it's kinda crazy to think because, they brought in Mohamed Kudus and some young attackers like Kolo Muani and these other guys up top, and Richarlison has had a decent season, but it just doesn't click, and maybe this is proving, Dad, how important James Maddison is to them. He's
Yeah,
obviously out this year with an ACL.
yeah.
Uh, Kulusevski hasn't played, I don't think at all maybe this season, and he's one of their most influential players. I mean, maybe it's showing their impact on the team more than anything else, rather than it being Thomas Frank, but or do you think it's a mixture of both?
As is typical, I think it's a bit of a mixture of both. Can I just say something for a second?
Yeah.
I just Richarlison rubs me the wrong way. When he was Everton, he rubbed me the wrong way. Like, there's just some, and listen, he may be the nicest guy on the planet. I don't know. But watching him on the field, I just kind of want to slap him. I don't know what it is. I would love the chance to meet the guy or maybe I should find an interview, but there's something about his way that just drives me nuts. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? Like, is it just me?
I think he's just like a wind-up merchant, Dad. He loves getting in the opposition's face, kind of being like a prick. I don't know what to like the best word for it, but he likes kind of being annoying, I think, and I think he's also a little bit he's a little bit cringe, to be, I guess, up to date. He's kind of cringy. Like, he's that guy that's always taking his shirt off when he gets an equalizer or maybe a winner, but then the other team scores. I think he's done it twice or three times now, which is just like, it just, yeah, to your point, it rubs you the wrong way of like, this guy is just like not likable as much on the field. And maybe that's just, I mean, we're Arsenal fans. It's hard. I don't want to be biased, but I think Spurs, from an outside perspective, most people don't recognize them, you know, as a threat right now, at least. And they're just not enjoyable or exciting. Like, I think there's people that would rather watch Bournemouth, that would rather watch Brentford play, that would rather watch Everton play, that would rather watch Sunderland. I could go through a lot of teams I think
Yeah.
people would rather watch right now. Even Spurs own fans. I literally saw a chant today, Dad, where they were chanting sideways or backwards everywhere we go, insinuating that they never pass the ball forward. But
Yeah.
Dad, do you think Thomas Frank is maybe the next manager on the way out, or do you think they're going to ride it out and try and give him time?
Well, I mean, gosh, we've talked a bit about this before. The quick hook that some of these clubs have with managers. I mean, how long was Nancy at Celtic? 8 matches. That was it. And
Yeah.
right,
Like no
obviously,
time to implement his none of his own players, no time to implement his tactics. Like it's not really fair. Like these guys do get paid a lot of money and very well, but it's not really fair to them to not give them at least a little bit of time. I understand you need results, but
I think that with Thomas Frank, I mean, what there's essentially half the season left, just under
yeah,
half the season. I mean, give the guy more time. I think that, like you said, Madison's out. I mean, things aren't perfect. It wasn't like they were perfect last year. Let the guy finish out the season. And if at that point, I mean, Tottenham, thanks to the teams in the bottom three, Burnley, West Ham, and Wolves, Tottenham is not going to get relegated this season.
yeah.
So let the guy roll it out, see if there's any way that he turns it around even a little bit, shows promise. And then if not, sure, go ahead, get rid of it at the end of the season. But I mean, man, the turnover to me is the cycle is just spinning faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Dad. Give him time. Maybe they win a cup somehow. You know, they won something last year and
They did.
fired the guy, but they won something last year and they're only 7 points off Champions League still. There's half of the season left. A lot can change
Yep.
in half the season, wherever you're at on the table. So nothing's over. I think is the biggest point, Dad, but there's been some shocks, I think, on the top of the table as well, um, especially by some smaller teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already alluded to those mid-table teams, things like that. But in my mind, the teams that sort of stand out, these smaller clubs, uh, punching above their weight, as you put it here in the script, are Brentford and Sunderland. Now, Sunderland is fading just a little bit, sort of slowly, I still think
Yep.
they finished the top half of the
Only
table.
4 points off Champions League as well. They're right there.
Right. But I mean, these are not top 6 clubs as we all know, and, they're impressive. I mean, there's probably about 8 to 10 teams that are performing better than I thought. But for me, these 2 teams really stand out. Sunderland obviously put up a hell of a fight against Arsenal. And so I think it's fun to watch. I love watching Granit Xhaka playing for Sunderland. It's exciting. Once again, former Gunner, I get it. But to come back and sort of, this is what his third team in the last 5, 6 years, showing that, listen, he can do it wherever he goes. And so if
Yeah.
you've got a true leader, a good midfielder like that in the Premier League, they're showing that you can hang around.
You can make a
What are your
difference.
thoughts on those clubs?
I mean, I love both of them, Dad, but what I do have to say, who I love even more in that Sunderland team, who scored the equalizer against Arsenal, is Brian Brubby up top. The absolutely jacked unit that they usually have start or bring on
Yeah.
from Ajax, Dutch player. There's a funny picture of him when I think he's 16 or 17, playing against kids his age, and he is just hulking over these dudes. Like he is a physical specimen, and even at the weekend scored it just I think today actually scored a rocket, or yeah, it was the weekend, scored a rocket against Spurs. Like literally almost tore the net off with his shot.
Yeah.
I think it's what we thought Gyökeres was going to be at Arsenal, more kind of a physically dominant player. Like I see that in him. He's got the drive, he's got the tenacity. Brian Brubby is just an absolute beast. So love watching him, Dad. But I think Brentford has got to be the most polarizing team this year because no one at the beginning of the season thought they were going to do anything. I mean, it's Thomas Frank's set piece coach who's now in charge, and
Yeah.
he's leading them to a season that Thomas Frank, I don't think ever had them around this point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Frank left a little too early, or he thought he was going to, greener pastures, and, not so at up to this point. But yeah, I mean, a club like Brentford, did you go to a game at Brentford when
Yeah,
you
the
were there?
G Tech, the G
Yeah,
Tech.
yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, and
I was
didn't, like, one of your
there.
bosses, wasn't he a Brentford fan or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a cool new stadium, obviously new for them as well, and it seems like the fans love it. It's just such an interesting club because it's also in London. Doesn't really get attention like a London club, but they're showing out this season like a London club. I mean, just ridiculous. They have the second top goal scorer in the Premier League with Igor Thiago. And there's so many exciting players. Kevin Shada, another exciting player for them. Kelleher in goal, former Liverpool player, looks fantastic. They're just like they're like Brighton. It seems like Brentford always finds a way. There's those teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
They
Well,
always find a way.
yeah, wait, who did Brighton play today? Did they play City?
They played City and they drew, right?
Was that the Amex, or was that at the Etihad?
I
Can't
think it was at
remember.
the Amex today. I think it
Yeah,
was.
and that, like, that's awesome. Like, I love, you mentioned earlier, watching Tottenham in the last couple of years, no thank you. But I will happily, when Arsenal's not playing, I will happily turn on any game, really. But yeah, I want to watch Brentford. I want to watch Brighton. I want to watch Sunderland, right? These are fun teams to watch. And that's good for soccer, and it's good for the Premier League, right? You can't just have the top six, and I know more people pay attention, but if you can make it exciting, and no, Brentford's not going to win the Premier League and so on and so forth, but they're going to make games more exciting across the board. And if the Premier League is going to continue to grow above and beyond its sort of current fan base in the US, if you really want to start drawing in sort of non-soccer or people who are new to soccer, you better have more teams who are going to entertain you and compete. And I think the Premier League really has that more this year, in my mind, than they've had in a long time.
Absolutely, and I think we're only gonna keep seeing that, these teams keep bringing more money, keep doing their thing. It's exciting to watch. I mean, I watched Newcastle Leeds a little bit today. Thrilling game. Might have been one of the games of the season. Newcastle ended up winning it. The latest ever winner in the Premier League, 101 minutes into the game, by
Jeez.
Harvey Barnes. And just what a like that's an ad for the Premier League right there. That's what people want to see is those intense games and an American scoring twice and Brendan Aronson. Great to see him playing well. But Dad, I think we're hoping to see more surprises the rest of the season. I'm sure we have more in store, but I think it's time to go on to our usual surprises, which is our underdogs of the week, Dad. And I know you have one lined up for us.
Well, man, boy, is this club an underdog. They may be one of the biggest underdogs in the world right now. And it's been a real tough go for the Wolves this season. But
Oof,
in the last 4 or 5 days, they they ripped West Ham 3-0. And I understand West Ham is
brutal.
in the relegation zone as well, but I don't care who you're playing. You win 3-0, and that is impressive, right?
Statement
Eh,
win.
yeah, and then they drew today. I mean, 4 points out of 6 in their last 2 matches. I mean, suddenly we're like, "Wait, are Wolves making a turn? Is it just a little bit of luck after, my god, I don't think they won a game in, like, 3 months or something," right? So, to me, that's my underdog of the week, because even those crappy teams in the bottom, there's still 18, 19 games to go, right? In the Premier League. Well, maybe 17 now, but whatever. Like, there's time to turn it around. There's time for a Tottenham to get back to where they probably should be. Maybe a team like Wolves goes on a run. I mean, we are in the January window, right? You can
Yeah.
pick up some players. I don't know what Wolves prospects are and so on, but like, it's not unthinkable that Wolves could maybe get themselves out of the relegation zone. And certainly a
Yeah.
week like this, with a win and a draw, that's a hell of a week. That's the best week they've had in a hell of a long time.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. And I think they needed it desperately. They needed those points, and I think it's giving them some hope with that new manager installed as well. It's giving them something to build on, even if they don't make it out. It gives them some positivity potentially going into next season if they can continue to build on what they've been doing recently. But we'll see how they do. I think Wolves is a fun team as well in the Premier League. I've enjoyed having them in recent years, but we'll see kind of where they go next. But
The,
Dad,
the, the way
I
you
do have
said
to go
that,
to
sorry,
another team.
the way you said that sounded like the Wolves are dying. It's been great having them.
Well, they are a little bit. They still haven't crossed the threshold of Derby County's all-time worst Premier League season. So the Wolf, as of right now, is getting put down. Or the Wolves. I don't know. Maybe it's like, what's that movie called? You know the movie. Not Marley and Me, the older one. Old Yeller.
Oh God. Yeah, talk about sad. Let's not even go down that road. Who's your underdog of the week?
My underdog of the week, Dad. Another relegation contender in France.
Okay.
We love talking about France. I think it's kind of been a fun league this year to keep an eye on. And one of the title contenders, Dad, could have closed the gap a little bit today on the top two teams, but absolutely pissed it away with two red cards and lost to 16th place Nantes. Marseille lost to 16th place Nantes 2-0 at home. Um,
Wow.
Huge result for Nantes because now that puts them in the relegation playoff spot, is what they do in France. So there's a playoff team in the second division, and in the first division, they play at the end of the season to figure out who goes up or down or
Yeah.
stay,
Yeah.
which is, I think, is actually really fun, but that's a whole other topic. But, good for Nantes getting the win on the road. But Marseille, I feel like whenever I look at their games, Dad, they always have multiple red cards, and or their fans are losing it or attacking other fans. Marseille is just such a weird but historic club. But really, this is more meant to shout out Nantes for making sure they're pushing their way out of the relegation zone in France.
That sounds like a great underdog for sure.
Absolutely, and they're close to England, so we're keeping it within the same region. I think they're in northern France, so
Okay.
kept it close. But Dad, now we are on to another topic in the Premier League here, and we kind of touched on it with Thomas Frank, but there has been some manager sackings already with the big clubs, and I mean, really back to back with Enzo Maresca and Ruben Amorim, both of Chelsea and Manchester United, respectively. But Dad, let's talk about Maresca first. A little bit of background here.
Wait, wait, wait,
Uh,
wait, wait. Did you not officially announce this as the VAR You Serious Moment of the week?
I don't think this is the VAR You Serious. Oh, it is the VAR You Serious Moment of the week. See, we're rusty. This is the VAR You Serious Moment of the week, Dad. Talking about the sackings of Maresca and Amorim. Thank you for catching me out there.
Oh
But
yeah.
quickly, background on Maresca. Um, in public, had made it clear that he was very frustrated with the ownership team, other people at the club, even the fans, which is just something I think as a manager, it's kind of a no-go zone. But according to reports, mutually agreed to leave the club, leaving 14 million pounds on the table of compensation, which I think just says something fishy. Like, what? Who's leaving $14 million on the table when they're entitled to it?
Yeah. I I couldn't even begin to venture a guess on that one. I'm sure as time passes, more will come out about that, but that does seem a bit fishy because I'm all for principle and kind of being true to yourself and I don't. It's not about the money, and so I don't think I leave $14 on the table, let alone $14 million on the table, or
Yeah.
pounds or whatever it was. What are your guesses on that?
I mean, I'm not too sure what it all means. I saw a quote from Maresca today saying it's not time for the truth. The truth will come out in due time is essentially what he said, which kind of plays into it. And Chelsea ownership reportedly said Maresca was acting somewhat like a child in their opinion with the whole situation, leading up to them mutually agreeing to part ways. I, I just I wonder if this is more of a club issue, but Dad, I want to bring in the other sacking into this conversation as well.
Yep.
Different situation. Ruben Amorim. Everyone thought that Man U was going to stick it out with him. They couldn't do it anymore. They finally let him go. But it's just weird because it seemed like they were going to stick with him and they didn't. Did you get that same feeling, or was that just me?
Yes, and I have to say, I think Manchester United is a mess. I just think
Yeah.
they're an absolute mess. I mean, since Ferguson retired, I can't think. I mean, these guys change coaches as much as the Las Vegas Raiders do. Like, like,
Every
what
season,
is going
pretty much.
on? So to me, if I'm Amarim, I'm actually probably happy to get out of there.
And
No
he
one
got
wants.
$10 million payout, 10 million
Well,
pounds.
I'm feeling really good if I'm him then. I mean, I get it's a blow to your ego. Nobody wants to get sacked. I understand that. But maybe they did him a favor, move along, find a different opportunity because honestly, Manchester United is kind of a black hole right now for managers.
It's structurally a mess. And Dad, I want to juxtapose with Chelsea as well, because I think this is the bigger topic here, right? Both managers getting let go. Chelsea is one way of how not to run a team that wants to win, in the sense that they are a business. Todd Bowley has come in and made it Major League Baseball. He thinks Chelsea is LA Dodgers. It's a brand, and he brings in young talent, holds on to him until their value accrues, trades them, gets rid of them for more talent. But it's weird because he's missing the winning part like he does in LA.
Hey
So
man, they're
really not,
world champions. What are you talking about? Chelsea are
we're
world champions.
world champions of freaking what, man? It is sad what they're doing over there. And I know Chelsea fans are upset with it as well, because if they had real aspirations to win like they used to, I didn't like Roman Abramovich and Jose Mourinho and what they were doing, but they actually wanted to win. They spent the money to win. It doesn't seem like Chelsea spends the money to win right now. Would you agree?
I think you're right. I think they're spending money to make money. And from a business standpoint, I think that's probably actually working decently well. So maybe that's what matters more. And obviously, everyone likes to win, but no, it doesn't really seem like a true priority, or at least not in the way that we're accustomed to.
It feels like what Arsenal were when I was younger. In a way, it feels like they're trying to make top 4, so they're in Champions League,
Right?
so they get the additional revenue,
Yep.
and they're bringing in just enough in players, but spending much more than Arsenal ever did, um, to make it seem like they're putting in the work, but I don't think they are, Dad. The team is crying out for leadership and some experience, but the team is full of guys who have no experience. I mean, it's maybe not no experience. It's a young team. I think it's one of the youngest teams in the Premier League. And they continue to add more young guys and chop and change and sell and repeat. And I just don't think it's a formula for winning. But I wanted to say, similarly, they are like Manchester United, but just in a different way. Manchester United, like you said, is a pit right now. Even with the ownership change or the minority ownership change with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, you can tell these guys have no idea how to run a football club. I'm not saying I do, but clearly these guys don't either. I mean, to your point, when Sir Alex Ferguson was there, he ran the show top to bottom. Do you think Ruben Amorim was running the show top to bottom there?
Absolutely not. It didn't look
Yeah,
like it.
no chance. No chance. And I think they've gotten away from that. There's no United way anymore. They're not. they're not what they used to be. And I think they have this pressure of being a global brand that they've completely tarnished. I mean, it's not there anymore. There's not kids crying out to be a Manchester United fan right now. I think both clubs need to look pretty hard in the mirror. Do you think there's a solution for either side here, or do you think it's going to be more of the same from both?
I wouldn't expect there to be big sudden changes in the next season or two. Just not. Um, I'm not sure how much. I mean, listen, it's still Chelsea and Manchester United. They're both top half of the table, right? For being kind of, things not going great, there's plenty of clubs that would die to be in the position they're in overall. But yeah, I don't know how plumb a job either one of these jobs is right now. Because yeah, you got the money and you've got the history, but do you want the headache? And
No, because you don't want to deal with either ownership group or any of the staff that they're required to. It seems like a nightmare. And
it
that's why
does.
Chelsea is hiring their blue co boy from Strasbourg, Liam Rossinier. I
Yep.
mean, because they know he'll be a dummy. He can be a dummy in their process. They don't care. It's the same with United not hiring a manager till the summer and having caretakers who were former players. They're just dummies and puppets for them to use for the way they want to run the club, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, while ownership is running these teams more as businesses, I mean, they do want to win. Like these guys all have egos and they do want to win. It's a matter of do they believe that they can fix it? I think the answer is probably no. And if they come to the realization that they're not the one to truly fix it, will they turn to the right people to fix it for them? And that's a big question.
Probably not. And I think then their main goal, to our point, becomes how can we make the brand valuable again to resell this? It's all business, as we've said before. But, Dad, in my personal opinion, I'm just going to give each club a yellow card. I think it needs to be a reality check for them to figure out, okay, maybe we do care about winning, but are we actually going to do what it takes to win? So I'm giving a yellow card to both. What about you?
I'm going to give a yellow card to Chelsea. I mean, they, all jokes aside, they did win, Club World Cup last year. They're in a better position, I think, compared to Manchester United. I'm giving a red card to Man U. It matches their uniform.
Yeah.
But also just I think they're in much bigger trouble. It feels more dire in my mind, and I think they need a sending off to have a wake up call. So red card.
I think they need it too, Dad. Well said. Well said. But, Dad, we are already at the end of the episode. We are going to our new favorite segment, in my opinion, parting shots. I
Yep.
promise we'll be quicker this time, but you're reading to me first, so go ahead.
Yeah, you are doing the odd questions. I'm doing the even questions. All right. Is Igor Thiago the most informed striker in Europe right now with 16 goals in 21 Premier League games, including 5 penalties?
I think in the last 2 weeks, he's probably up there. I think he scored a hat trick against Everton and a brace today. I mean, 5 goals in the span of a few weeks would say, okay, this guy's pretty legit. You still got to think about Mbappe, Kane, Holland. So I'll say right now he is.
All right.
Dad, can Brentford finish top 6?
No. Fun club. We've already talked about him. Heading in the right direction. Top half of the table, yes. Top 6, no.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. This is a tough question for you, Mr. Hammer.
Yes.
Is West Ham definitely going down?
I unfortunately have to say yes. That loss the other day against Forest was brutal. They're going down. It's sad to say, but they are. Anyways, moving on from the sad topic. Is Dominic Calvert-Lewin the signing of the season? Free transfer, 9 goals and 1 assist up to this point in the season for a Leeds team that couldn't buy a goal for the first few games.
I mean, I don't know about signing of the season, but it's really worked out for Leeds. Everton has to be looking in the mirror like, where the hell was this guy last season or the last few seasons? He's got it in him. I'm not surprised, but I don't know about the signing of the season. Um, are Spurs still a top 6 club, or are they slipping into the second tier of the Premier League?
They did this to Arsenal with Leicester, saying Leicester were top six and Arsenal weren't. So to Spurs, they are not a top 6 club right now. I don't care if they won the Europa League last year. Floundering in the bottom half of the table 2 seasons in a row does not make you a top 6 club. Let's throw in Aston Villa instead. That sounds like a good shout to me.
Yeah, that's a solid argument. All right,
Yeah,
one
I
more.
think they are. To be honest with you, don't you agree? I mean, third place in the table and probably should have had Champions League last year too.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But Dad, to wrap us up for the day, another team we talked about, but will Sunderland's lack of goals this year, one of the lower scoring teams in the league, will it cause them to potentially be one of the one and done teams we've seen in the past, like Sheffield United and other teams that have come up and done well
Go down this year?
next year?
Oh,
One
next year.
and
Oh, I was gonna say, because I thought when you say one and done, you mean like just this year you're done.
maybe
Um,
not the right terminology, but 2 seasons and done.
I don't think so. I think Sunderland are a solid team. I think if they're smart, they try to fix that lack of scoring in the January transfer window or in the summer. Um, but no, I think they're a solid enough team that I don't think so. I think they're going to be fine both this year and next year.
Well, I hope they stick around too, Dad, because they are a fun club to watch, and it's better having them in the league than not. But that wraps up our episode for today, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us again here in 2026. We're excited to bring some different new content this year and keep pushing along, Dad. I know we've been having fun, but we're going to have more fun this year, right?
World Cup year, baby.
World Cup year. We're almost there, almost there. But everyone, have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.